I did really want to approach it from a very grounded place because I think I do that with most of my work. But this in particular, because it could be very easy to play the bells and whistles of somebody who has powers. And I know a lot of the actors sometimes came on going, well, why can't I just throw this thing over here? Or why can't I just fly over there? And it's like, no, everything's staying very close to the ground. And I think it starts with the emotion, starts with the feeling, and then the rest follows. And one simple objective or intention at a time. And that's kind of how we not necessarily got through it, but worked together, you and I, and the rest of the creative team.
He's me. In a way. Because when I started this, Mark Johnson called me and said, hey, are you, and I'd done mostly movies. I was a movie writer director, right? And he called and said, would you be interested in this? It's this Talamasca, and he produces also Interview and Mayfair, and has done Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and things like that for AMC that have been quite good shows. And I've known Mark for a long time. So anyway, he called and asked, about my interest, sent me a bunch of stuff to read. And I just had a ton of questions because it's not the natural place for me to go to the supernatural world. I'm more grounded in terms of my storytelling and all those. And so I just had a whole bunch of questions about the Talamasca, like how much do they pay? Where do they get their money? Is there an HR department? How's your 401k? How much vacation do you get? All those kind of questions, because they had never been addressed in Anne Rice's world. And so then I just gave those questions to him.
That's really hard to follow. But Guy Anatole is me.
You took him from me immediately, so it started with me.
The way I just kind of describe him is, yes, he is a skeptic, but he does have these kind of values that he's kind of instilled in himself from a very strong place. He's quite a persevering individual, and I like the fact that he had that kind of quite a bit of a backbone. He wasn't flappable to anybody, and if someone came at him with a hard question or whatnot, he could give them an answer, be it kind of a skeptical answer, or it could be a very, very straightforward answer. And I liked having that kind of dichotomy in the character, and yeah, that's it. The camera does a lot of the work for me, which is a blessing, because I don't really have any visible attributes that make me visibly seem like I have sort of powers. It's more about what the camera and I how the relationship between me, that kind of takes the pressure off me going, and actually more into like, I can stay, more internally, and I think that reads.
It's a really good question. I mean, being grounded in a spy show, when I say spy show, I'm thinking more Jean Le Carré than I am Bourne Identity or something. It's not racing around on motorcycles and that kind of stuff. It was more like, who do you trust? Everybody's a liar. So that's easy to approach from a grounded standpoint. In terms of the other, I mean, at first I was like, gosh, vampires. What do I think about vampires? What do I know about vampires? And when I continued to read Anne Rice, I came across something that I went, oh, you know what? Living forever isn't the best thing in the world for a lot of people, because a lot of times they have friends that are mortals, and these mortals get older, and die, and you're left and you're lonely. And a lot of times sometimes vampires will just decide to end their own existence. That I've been around 300 years and that's too long. I've buried too many friends. And so I said, look, the supernatural aspect aside, that is a part of human nature that I can grab onto and I can write. I can write about human loneliness. And so kind of embracing that from Anne Rice. I got that from Anne Rice. So embracing that brought the worlds together.
The thing that I liked the most was I love working with different people all the time. I love working, and I get to work with pretty much everybody on the show. Every different actor that came through, I got to work with them. And I felt like we tried to establish a space that felt very freeing creatively for everyone, be it a bit player for a day and a half, or be it someone who's and it's like everyone got their voice heard. And I found that as an actor, very beautiful to witness from a crew that established a space like that. But also I felt pretty good, like getting to work with all these people who performed, who I think did amazing work. And it's nice to see that response to a space that is safe and creative and open.